Hi, I'm Molly, and this is my little brother Ben. We are doing another round of healthy eating in January, and we would like to invite you to join us.
Our family has done this before, and we have a local group meeting up to do the program. But since it was kind of beneficial to us, we thought that maybe some of you people out there would enjoy doing it with us. And so if you wish to participate in the Whole30, we're here to give you explain how that's going to work and give you about 7 rules of how to do the game.
The Whole30 is a month-long elimination style diet. This plan was designed by professionals. It's been around a long time, enough time that millions of people have tried it, and the vast majority of the people who complete the Whole30 30 days report that they're glad that they did it and it helped them. And actually, over half of the people who participated in my local group last summer liked it so much that they're doing another round with us, and they're bringing their friends this time also. So it just makes my heart so happy that people are feeling better and lighter and healthier. So we just wanted to invite you to do it too. The goal is just to get more nutrition into your body and cut out foods that are less healthy, the ones that trigger unwanted symptoms in some people.
Most people do lose some weight in the 30 days without any restriction of calories. But the bigger deal is that many people have what's called the non-scale victories. Everything from like clearer skin, lower blood pressure, better digestion, better mood, more energy, and less pain. Because some ingredients can cause low-grade inflammation in your body. And over time, you wouldn't know it unless you cut these foods out 100% of the time long enough. So if your diet is causing you problems, this temporary diet may be a path to kind of figuring out what changes you can make in your routine to make you feel better again for the long term.
Most of the information on this plan is actually available for free at Whole30.com. They have helpful printables, and you can even sign up for a daily text from them. However, the companion book is also extremely helpful. The designers of this program also have another book that goes in depth about the research supporting the rules we're going to share. It's called It Starts with Food. I did read that book first, but it's not a requirement at all.
So basically, we're going to eat a lot of vegetables. We're going to eat lots of fruits, and we're going to eat lots of meats for 30 days. Nuts, eggs, and tree nuts, eggs, and seeds are also going to be on the short list of added fats. And at the end of 30 days, there's also going to be kind of a reintroduction period where you can add one of these food groups back one at a time, each food group, that was eliminated, to see if they cause any kind of unwanted side effects. And then you can kind of make an educated guess based on how you feel of whether or not you want to manage those ingredients in your diet for the long term.
So next, we need to just go over the 7 rules about what we're eating and what we're not eating, rather, and why. Number 1 is sweeteners. We're going to cut out all added sugar and artificial sweeteners too, because the goal is to get more nutrients. It's not really about calorie reduction specifically. So added sweeteners don't supply any nutrition. Sugar is just empty calories, and both sugar and non-nutritive sweeteners in excess can cause issues in your gut and in your brain and with your cravings. It takes most people a few weeks to recalibrate their sensitivity to sweet tastes. And after a while of being off of those sweeteners, fruit and vegetables will actually start to taste better. I'm not gonna lie to you, the transition is hard for most people, but after you can make that shift, I think everything gets easier. Our other brother just never got over his sweet tooth on Whole30, and I think that's because he kept drinking the fruit juice, and he really had a rough time and he was cranky. But actually his blood pressure and his waist circumference went down anyway in spite of that, but he could have had an easier time, I think, if he would have taken out more sweeteners or more sugary juices.
Yeah. Rule number 2 is alcohol. I don't think we need to labor on why, just it doesn't supply enough nutrients to even warrant being in your diet.
Number 3 is grains and legumes. And while there were some great civilizations built on calories from these two foods groups, they were traditionally grown differently and prepared by soaking or fermenting. It's very different than Cocoa Puffs for sure. And some people just don't have the genes to digest these and incorporate them very well, these modern seeds. So also another thing is naturally plants want their seeds to make plant babies, not feed animals. So there are some protective aspects of these seeds that cause people various symptoms, and you won't even know if you're one of these people unless you eliminate the grains and legumes for a while and then pay attention when you reintroduce them. Grains and legumes can lead to more inflammation in some people's bodies, and there's a whole list of symptoms that kind of connect to that inflammatory response. There's a list of them in the book. Things like gingivitis and gout and obesity and psoriasis. I mean, there's a huge list of symptoms.
And it can also affect brain function, sleep, and energy. So, yeah. But again, you need to find out whether or not grains and legumes actually affect you.
Yeah. So wheat, corn, peanuts, soybeans, and kidney beans are among the most problematic in this food group. The Whole30 does allow green beans and potted peas as an exception to this rule, this no grains or legumes rule. They're less seed by mass and tend to cause fewer issues for most people.
Number 4 is dairy, because it has both sugars and proteins that can be hard on a lot of people. Dairy also has naturally occurring hormones that promote growth. So products containing milk, butter, whey, casein, they're all gone 30 days. The only exception to the dairy is ghee, which is also called clarified butter. It's made from milk fat only, so there's less problem potential there. Some people like it, some people don't. I used it several times in different kind of food substitutions, and it wasn't bad.
Which brings us to number 5, which is the no pancake rule. You don't want to eat foods that mimic the foods that you're cutting out. So things like paleo cookies, crackers, tortillas, breads, muffins, that you can make at home or maybe commercially available, like fried chips as well. They are out for the 30 days. After the 30 days, some convenience foods during the reintroduction phase may make it a little bit easier to do that. Reintroduction phase. One of the goals of the Whole30 is to change your
perception on food.
Yeah, and your defaults and your go-tos and your habits, and by cutting out the bread and crackers and pancakes, you are forcing yourself to adapt and change those bad habits. So I think that's an important component to the diet.
I would agree. Which brings us to number 6. Some additives that are natural-ish, they're out. These are carrageenan, however you pronounce that word, and sulfites. They're out. Carrageenan, however you pronounce it, is a thickener, and sulfates are usually added as a preservative. You have to read all the labels and cut out the sugars, the artificial stuff, and things like MSG, the king of flavor. Those are out too. And this is really hard for the first week or two of this diet, but it does get a little bit easier because you wind up developing new shopping patterns as you go through your stores, and you're like, I know I can have this, I know I can have this, this is going to be better for me than this is, but it's definitely going to take a little bit longer your first couple trips to the store.
Another thing that you can do is shop for some ingredients online. It gives you a little bit more time to read labels from the convenience of your couch. And now, number 7. It's not a food, it's the scale. No getting on the scale during the 30 days. That's the last rule. And if you're on weight-based medications, you might need to check with your doctor if you start shrinking out of your clothes. But otherwise, mostly pay attention to how you feel. Weigh before and after the 30 days. And most importantly, I recommend getting your waist measurement before and after. I think it's a better metric for your health anyway, and I like that number for health.
So if this is the least bit interesting to you, please consider joining us next month. You can check out the Whole30 resources that we mentioned and other people's reviews. If it all sounds good, but you need to start a few days late in order to properly get ready, that makes sense. Set the date, set the time, get prepared. And if this isn't right for you, we're glad you checked out our channel, and we wish you a fantastic new year. Please consider giving us a like, a subscribe, and take care.
We mean it.